You're listening to the Big Sci-Fi Podcast, a podcast of the Trek Geeks Podcast Network. It's season 9 here at the Big Sci-Fi Podcast, and we're excited because 9 comes before 10, which comes before, well, you know what I mean. We're having a blast, still talking about all things science fiction, and this season is set to be our biggest and most epic season yet. We're having more fun than we've ever had, and we invite you to invite all of your friends and tune in each week to new episodes as we explore the cosmos of science fiction. We're getting ready to blast off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, listeners of the Big Sci-Fi Podcast. It is really funny how episodes of the Big Sci-Fi Podcast lead to more episodes of the podcast. We were recently discussing one of my favorite movies from when I was a teenager, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. And one thing led to another, and I found myself reaching out to Dan Shor, who played Billy the Kid in that movie. He was also in Tron, which we covered last year on the podcast, and he played a Ferengi in a couple of Star Trek episodes. So now, while I was doing some research, I found a reference to an old article titled, Dan Shor is Cool as Hell. And well, I was so intrigued, but I couldn't find the article. But I suspect that we are about to find out that he is indeed cool as hell. Hi, Dan.
Hi. I am cool, but I'm not as cool as Keanu and Alex, who are now doing Waiting for Godot on Broadway.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Together?
Yes, Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter are doing Waiting for Godot, the weirdest play ever created by any human being, on Broadway. And I'm not there. I would be there, but I would love to see that. I can't imagine how silly it is.
You know, I'm a hop, skip, and a jump from Broadway. I might almost be, I'm from Long Island, so I'm from that area.
Where in Long Island?
A town called Comac is where I grew up, right in the middle.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and so just so our listeners know, it's just me and Brian today. Our other co-hosts wish they could have been here. Cris and Steve send their regards, but we're going to have some fun without them. Sorry, guys.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, we can have fun. We can have fun without them, I think.
We're loud.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
We're loud. Yeah.
Especially that Dan's here. We'll have a lot of fun.
Yes. Well, so we want to start, Dan. We usually like to start just understanding, what your origin story is. How did you get into acting and then the directing and the writing and all that?
Okay. I think it started, I know it started at the age of 14 when I was an athlete. I'm not an athlete. I was a kid who played sports, and I loved team sports, and I loved playing games. And then at the age of 14, I went off to a summer camp where they had sports that involved girls. And that was the theater. And I got involved in playing in the theater with boys and girls. I still played sports with jockey boys, but I found my spirit animals in the theater. It's a funny thing when you see shows like I am so straight, but I am such a theater geek. I'm such
that's allowed.
Yes, a total theater person, theater player. I think they're called players for a reason. We like to play. And so I was very good at it, apparently. And in high school, I got an agent. I lived in Manhattan. So it's not unusual for your high school to have agents in it. And I was in some place and they said, we need to represent you. And I said, of course you do. And I did off Broadway at the age of about 16. And then I was, after my first year of college, I was at Northwestern University. I quit college and joined a Latin band playing conga drums. And during that, I know.
All right.
That's a random, it sounds very random detour.
It's very random. School did not suit me at the time. It did later. I'm madly in love with school, but it wasn't fitting my neuroses. And that's the only way I can describe it. It was too stressful. I was at Northwestern. It was very difficult. And I just remember during the summer, I was working in the Catskills. This is Dirty Dancing, literally. I worked at Grossinger's in the Catskills as a cocktail waiter. And after I was waiting cocktails, I had played congas in Manhattan. I was a conga player. I knew how to play. And I joined the Al Martinez Orchestra as Danny Martinez, the conga player, after my after finishing waiting tables. And at the end of the summer, I quit college and went to Washington, D.C. as a member of the Al Martinez Orchestra. And as I was there, I'd be going home to Manhattan on, during the weekdays, and I auditioned for a play on Broadway and got it.
Wow.
Nice.
And that changed everything.
What play was it?
Equus.
Okay.
It was, about a boy who gets mixed up with religion and horses. And it was a launching point. And from there, I went off to drama school in England and then came back and was flown to Los Angeles to star in a miniseries called Studs Lonigan. And after that, I had a career for about 15 years. Mm-hmm. I had a very strong career for about 15 years, and then it fizzled. And yeah.
Well, how did you get to England? What was the connection there from the States
the Equus
to England?
people, the Equus, John Dexter, the director of Equus, recommended that I go off to Lambda. I was 18. Okay. And he said, let's go off to Lambda, Dan. And I went off to Lambda. And it was the greatest breeding ground I've ever been on. It's sort of like playing there were 50 years ago, 3 major drama schools in England. There are more now, but this was one of the 3, and there were 10 students per class. And these people were brilliant. It was like the best of the best, and they were all better than me, and it wasn't close. And hanging out with them and being inspired by them and watching them and trial and error with them really moved my life. And by the time I was done, I did 1 year. It was 1 year of a 3-year program. But they moved me into within the first year, they moved me into the second year. They jumped me. And I was working with these great, amazing, talented, brilliant kids with extraordinary instruments, which I didn't have. I just had me. And they have these voices. And there's all this great stuff that I didn't know anything about. And I just saw theater and went to a lot of theater and really just spent a lot of time studying the craft. And they didn't teach acting. So it was all trial and error. And so when I came back to the United States, I was so far ahead of my competition, not ahead of my competition, but so confident. I think that's the key, was a level of confidence so that when I walked into an audition, I kicked its ass. I did the best that I could do. So I came as a very strong athlete.
Did I hear you correctly? Did you say a minute ago that they didn't teach acting?
Yeah, there were no acting classes. They didn't do that. They didn't buy it.
So I guess as someone who watches theater, appreciates TV, appreciates all these things, when I think of theater school, I think there's acting classes. So what is that?
Yes, there were no acting classes.
So
it was rehearsal.
What are they?
Okay. There was voice, rehearsal. There was stage fighting. There was mime. There was singing. There was dancing. They did not teach acting, the method.
Okay.
Don't believe in it. Not that they don't believe in it, because my other students would say, Dan, what's motivating you to come into this scene? And I would go, because I want something. I had studied Uta Hagen. So I would teach them this. They would teach me how to talk like that and how to think and how to understand the rhythm of the music of words. So we were studying with each other.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They didn't you didn't have to become an ice cream cone. You did not have to. There was never any class with moaning and groaning. There was nothing. It was rehearsal and either suck or don't.
Wow.
And that's what I loved. So when I came back to the States, I was so strong. And they were studying me because they had never seen anybody perform using their own personality before. They were these blank slates. They were these instruments. And I knew myself as a performer. I knew who I was and what I was. and they wanted that.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, there's a
Interesting.
difference. I mean, they're Daniel Day-Lewis, right? And we are Tom Hanks.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, oh gosh, so then so when acting started to fizzle, okay, so I
Yeah.
understand you've done some directing, writing. So what came next?
I became a teacher next.
Mhm.
What happened was the acting was fizzling. I don't know why. I still don't. And this is the every actor thing. We all go through this hell. There's only a few. There's how many people that have had a career from beginning to end? Almost none.
Mm.
Every
Yeah.
one of us has gone through the up and down, and it has nothing to do with us. It has to do with there are so many great people
Mhm.
worthy of being in a specific position who have a little heat behind them, and then your heat fizzles and they take over. And that's you can spend your life trying to find out what the hell did I do wrong, or what did anybody else do wrong, or what
Mhm.
happened. When what happened was someone else was there who was worthy, who was brilliant, who was
Mhm.
wonderful and has value, and they got the right agent at the right
Mm.
time. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
what
Yeah.
happened is I started to teach acting literally out of my house in Los Angeles. And at the same time, I started to direct plays. I was invited to direct one play, and then it went very well. And then I directed another play. It went very well, and I became an off Broadway waiver theater director in Los Angeles. And those two things kept me busy and poor.
Fair.
Well,
Yeah.
I love your story, Mr. Shore, because first of all, as a conga player myself,
Oh,
I appreciate I got so sick and tired of people calling those things bongos. So I just
I
want
play
to clarify.
bongos.
I just want to
bongos are
clarify.
bongos. Yeah.
I had bongos too. They sat right on top of the congas,
Right.
but everyone called them bongos, So I was always educating people about what the big drums were. But so that's kind of cool. But your ability, and it sounds like it was just in you to be flexible, to adapt, to go on to the next thing that was
Yeah.
available, and is really kind of inspiring. I mean, maybe there were moments or seasons where you mourned not having that. I don't know,
I,
but
I
just
still mourn it. And let's not pretend
mm,
that it
yeah,
was the best of times. It was the best of times. It
mm.
was,
Oh, I love, yeah,
it's sort of like we still mourn it. It doesn't mean that life doesn't go
mm,
on. It's sort of,
Mhm.
the
yeah,
glory days. It's literally Bruce Springsteen's glory days.
hmm,
It was the best. Any baseball player will tell you that when you played in a major leagues, it was better.
hmm,
It's the exact same game when you play softball on a Wednesday night. Exact
yeah,
same game.
yeah,
No more fun. But the heat of the lights, what it does to your bloodstream, to the adrenaline, to your as an artist, what you're trying to do is transcend, right? And when all those lights are on, that transcendence is on a much higher level.
mm,
The vibrations are thicker.
yeah,
Do you know what I
Gotcha.
mean? It's not
yeah,
better. It's not a
Mhm.
better life.
yeah,
You're not a better artist. It's not a better experience. It just is. It's brighter. And
Mhm.
when you go to bed at night, what are those things that an artist lives for moments? You guys, when you're doing this show, it's about if you get a transcendent moment, you live with it forever.
Yeah.
sure, sure,
All arts are transcendent moments, and when the lights are bright, there's a stronger opportunity for weird magic.
hmm,
You know,
absolutely,
Fair.
the
yep,
magic exists in everything that we do.
Yeah, I
But
can I
mm,
can make some analogies to my day job. I work as an engineer in aerospace, and I can make some analogies there too. So which,
it's the light
but
bulbs. When the
yeah,
light
yeah,
bulbs
absolutely,
go off,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
yeah,
so part of that acting career, definitely, because we are as a big sci-fi podcast, we talk about Star Trek a lot, not
yes,
just a little, but a lot. So
yeah,
we are really curious about your role as Dr. Arridor. Arridor, am
yeah,
I pronouncing that right? The
yeah,
Ferengi that was
yeah,
in the episode The Price on Next Generation.
yeah.
So how did that one come about? Is that just a random another audition, or was there
That was a
anything more to it?
random other audition. I think I had an audition for more than one Ferengi. At 5 foot
Mhm.
seven, I was on the Ferengi list.
Yeah. Oh, that's
You
good to
know,
know. I would be on the Ferengi list.
if you're 5 foot
About this
7 or
time.
under, I was on the tall end of Ferengi. It's
Okay.
5 foot
Okay.
7 and under. They said,
Okay.
"You're not 5'8", are you?" I said, "No, I'm 5'7". So I auditioned for it, and it was awesome. No, I auditioned for it, and I think I had auditioned for other, maybe Ferengis or other things before.
Were
I
you?
was
So, oh, I was going to say prior to that, how aware or interested in Star Trek were you before that? It's okay to say none. Just so
I
you know.
was the original Star Trek.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I grew
Gotcha.
up with the original Star Trek. I have this horrible thing as no, I watched Star Trek. What am I saying? I wasn't a nerd.
It's
Hmm.
okay.
Yep.
No. I know it's okay. I wasn't you guys. No,
Yep. To be
no.
clear, I was a
You could
nerd. I
ask
still
me.
am.
I know every Laker lineup from the 1980s, right?
Yeah.
but the no, I didn't follow. I wasn't a real, but I was a Star Trek nerd. And so when from the past, so when I got beamed up, it is something that and you can't help but have a big goddamn grin on your face getting beamed up.
Hmm.
And everybody, what's really wonderful is watching the old timers, the regulars,
Hmm.
watch
Yeah.
the new people get beamed up
Hmm.
because they
Mm.
get it.
Hmm.
They totally get that you're getting beamed up, and they're watching you do your childhood Halloween scene,
Hmm. Hmm.
and they totally get it. It was
So
really,
interesting.
really lovely.
Yeah. Yeah, we talk to sometimes
Interesting.
when we talk to some of the current Star Trek actors that grew up as real fans of the show.
Yes.
It's fascinating. So I always like to ask that. Was that the first time you ever did any like really extensive prosthetics like that? Was that your first experience there, or?
Oh, extensive. Yeah. No one's ever done that. The 7 hours of
Mm-hmm.
extensive prosthetics.
Oh,
That was 7 hours every morning. So,
jeez.
Wow.
anybody who was a full-time Ferengi, Armin's, that is that's hard. However, what you need to know, it's very important. And I said this to them while I was there. Not on the second one, I remember somebody complaining, "I've got to go through this." And I said in English, "Fuck you," because we made triple time.
Mm.
Mm.
At the time when I did not the first Star Trek, I was still rolling in it.
Mm-hmm.
The second Star Trek, I was struggling to make rent. You know,
Mm.
um, not rent, mortgage. I was still fine, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I was struggling to make my mortgage every month. And so when I
Hmm.
went in and got triple time on Star Trek, I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? I would do this every day of my life. Are you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You'll
Yeah.
never have to eat again. It's triple time because you're in for a minimum of 12 to 15 hours. And after 10 hours, you're on double time. After 12 hours, you're on triple time. You're on crazy time.
Mm-hmm.
So you're coming home with a year's salary after 10 days.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
very impressive.
Yeah.
So I'm always going, yeah. Please mock
Yeah.
me up, dudes.
Yeah.
So that might
I,
fall into the category of Adina's question of any special memories related to getting cast in Star Trek. Uh, it
Oh
was
no,
a
all I
good
remember
payday.
them was saying, "Don't be British." I
Really?
was doing "I am a Ferengi" because they have these romantic soliloquies, and I
mm-hmm.
and I said, "Okay, I won't," but I
Mm-hmm.
did. You couldn't help it; it was written that way. It was just
Yeah, yeah,
written
yeah.
to orate, So
Uh-huh.
I tried not, and then you have your teeth, but which
Right.
changes your voice, which is
Mm-hmm.
fantastic.
Hmm.
Awesome. The casting process was, I just remember being at Star Trek and I wanted really bad. We all did. Everybody
Yeah.
would want to be in Star Trek.
I
Yeah.
want to be in Star Trek. I'm not
Yeah.
even an
Ah,
actor.
sure.
No, get
Sure.
beamed up. Do it.
Sure. Yeah. I
Your
want to be in
cells
Star
change.
Trek if I get beamed up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your cells do change. And you're grinning. You can't help it. I'm a Ferengi grinning, getting beamed up.
Have you
Well, have
ever done
you?
the?
Oh, go
Oh,
ahead.
go
Yeah.
ahead. No, you go. You
Oh,
go.
I was just going to say, have you ever done any conventions, have you dabbled in that at all?
I've done about 10 conventions over the
Okay.
past 30 years.
Okay.
I never make I get a rush at the beginning of the first day and the rush at the first, and then it's really slow. They don't bring me back because I make, it's like they get people who they stand in line for. They stand in line for me for the, because they go, nobody's got me before, right? So
Yeah.
no, I'm just not a big moneymaker. I need to get another job that gives me a reason to be there. And then that's the, I will do it. I have never turned it down.
Yeah.
I've done it about 10 times. I went to London. It was amazing. All over the States. Really nice people. Loved it.
Sure.
Yeah. So I was going to, I guess, start to ask you a little bit more about your writing and directing and the kinds of projects that you've worked on, and how does that then change how you view acting through a different lens there?
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's really, I told you I studied in England, and I often used to very, 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 very strongly shapeshift. I liked to change my personality and disappear into a character. It's less so now because I watch the effectiveness of people who play themselves closer to themselves, not themselves, but Tom Hanks goes, what would I do if I were slow, if I had a slow mentality and I needed a box of chocolates? He didn't change himself.
Yeah.
He moved to that instead of, it's a very interesting thing where you draw in as a painter, you're going to draw in big lines. That is what I used to do. I would draw in those insane lines and then fit myself into that mold. Tom Hanks moves from the inside out. And as a director, I realized that is the best way to play. The most interesting, I've directed a lot of amateurs, I've taught and I've directed people with less experience. And I watch them and I go, holy cow, you're so much more interesting than this drawing that you just created. So use that. Use your flaws and your faults and your beauties. Use what you are. That is what I've learned as a director, as a performer now. So when you see me on television now, and I still do it, it's not like I don't work. I do it. You're going to see a lot of me. My voice.
That's interesting because that is again, not an actor. So that is sort of the opposite of what I feel like I would have expected. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I kind of thought that the idea was to not be yourself. But
yeah, the idea is to look at Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
You see Gump, but it's Tom Hanks. So I just use him as a perfect example. Daniel Day-Lewis transcends and leaves his body. He leaves himself. I mean, we're talking about great actors. So they leave. They're completely opposite. And I went to the English school where I would try to leave my body. But now I know that I am better this way. I think I am. I don't know. But it's just where I have evolved to as a performer. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I look back at classic the Gary Coopers. It seemed like the same guy in every movie.
Yeah.
But he was so fantastic and could do things with his eyes that the directors couldn't see until they watched the film. Yeah. And even a guy like John Wayne. I mean, come on, it was John Wayne every single movie with maybe a few exceptions. Yeah. But you felt like you were getting him, You
were getting him and Spencer Tracy. But if you look at someone, for example, like Meryl Streep, she shapeshifts, but also in another movie, she's going to be completely herself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, interesting.
She has this genius to do both. She can transcend. She can do either. She can completely leave her own body, or you're going to see her in Mamma Mia, and that's Meryl Streep.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is a choice that she makes. Every project is different, but we're talking about the geniuses here. And it's beautiful to look at.
Well, so since we originally, the whole reason that brought us here is the fact that we were talking about Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Yes.
So what was working on that, getting cast and working on that movie like?
It was so much fun. All I could think of was it was it was a blast. It was like being 15.
Mm-hmm.
It was intentionally silly.
Mm-hmm.
It was written as silly. The audition was silly. They wanted you to be silly, and if you came in and you were silly, that was it, literally. And they, I went in and did Billy the Kid, and I was doing the cowboy that I did, and I'm Billy the Kid, and all of that. And they just said, yes, yes, yeah, you're in. And so we went off to Arizona, and I did all this work, and then became Billy the Kid. And I walked into the left-handed gun, and Billy the Kid was syphilitic. So I played him. I came in day one, and I was syphilitic. And with a twitch and this weird shit. And the director said, Dan, no, you're cowboy. Be cowboy. Stop that shit. And it was done. And then I had to be cowboy, and I was cowboy for the rest of the movie. But we had so much fun. It was just, I hung out with, Jane Weedland and Terry Camilleri and Bob Barron. I hung out with all of those guys, and Keanu and Alex were busy. They were together 24 hours a day, and they were delightful and magical. Yeah.
Oh, that. So I was 15. You mentioned being 15. I was 15 when that came out.
Yes.
And I love that movie. Yeah, I loved it so much. It was so much fun.
Here's the weird thing: is I thought Alex Winter was going to be the star.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Keanu was like it. And I'm going, I know why. Because talk about being yourself. Holy shit.
Right.
I mean, that guy is a walking Labrador retriever at his age now. He's 60. He's still a Labrador retriever.
Yeah.
That's who he is. That's his, you see his soul. And it's delicious. And Alex is a brilliant person. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Before that, I knew Alex from The Lost Boys, and I remember it was one of my early experiences of knowing someone in a role and a character pretty well, because I'd watched Lost Boys a million times on VHS, and then to see him completely in a very opposite role, it was like, because again, I was young, I was 15, so it's the first time I had made that. I had to make that mental transition, like, okay, he's not a killing vampire. He's, it's comedy.
Or maybe he is.
Okay, maybe maybe he is. Well, that's good to hear that was fun. I like
it was as much fun as it looked. It was
good.
It was just ridiculously silly, and we knew it was silly, and we didn't know it was going to be Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. We thought it was going to be like a weekend slasher movie or a horror movie or a silly thing. We had no idea that it was going to become Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Interesting.
No.
You mean like when you're auditioning? Is that what you mean, or just
anything? You read the thing and you go, "This is a silly movie." Someone asks, and I'm going to say yes. I had turned down a lot of silly movies in my day. At this point, I wasn't. I turned down Porky's. I turned down when I was a kid because I was doing really, really well, and I didn't want to do stupid movies. And then Bill and Ted came along, and I go, "This is a stupid movie. I am ready for this."
Okay.
But we didn't know it was going to become a classic.
Yeah.
That Tron we thought would be a classic. Star Trek, is going to already classic. So, so I had no idea, none whatsoever.
Yeah, that's really interesting that because I was going to ask about Tron and if you knew it was going to become what it did. I mean, did you really have that sense while you're filming? Like, this is so unique, so different.
I thought it was going to happen right away. I thought I was going to be Robin and Tron was Batman. That's what I thought. And it didn't happen. It took 10 years for Tron to exist. It was technically, it had a big release, but it was technically a failure because it didn't do Star Wars numbers. Nothing near Star Wars numbers. And it costs a lot of money to make. But I thought that's what it was. We all thought we were getting a franchise before there were franchises.
Wow.
So it was my superhero movie.
Interesting.
So we thought it was going to do great things. And It didn't, but it did in the long run.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So can we talk about what show division is all
Oh,
about? Yeah.
okay. Here's the story. It's a good story. I was in Los Angeles, struggling. I mean, emotionally, just struggling. And you can see this. The best way I can describe it is, I don't know if anybody knows baseball or sports. Jeremy Lin is my favorite basketball player who ever lived. Jeremy Lin had his magic moment, the glory days with the New York Knicks, and then they disappeared him. He went on to other teams. He played great, but everybody expected him to be Kobe Bryant. He's not Kobe Bryant. He's Jeremy Lin. He's not Gregory Peck. He is Walter Houston. He is a working, brilliant guy. And they disappeared his ass because they wanted to mold him into the genius, okay? Which he's not. He was a great athlete. I'm Jeremy Lin. And I'm good, and I'm very good, and I can play lead roles if need be, but I'm not Jeff Bridges. You know what I mean? And so that because I never became Jeff Bridges, I got goned. Okay, so I'm in Los Angeles. These are all the thoughts going on in my head at that time.
Sure.
So I've been goned, and I had a good friend who had moved to Hawaii, and I went and visited him in Hawaii. He was a sound man, a sound mixer. His name is Greg Curta. And he said, Dan, I live in this place called Saipan. I'm going to be going to Saipan to teach filmmaking at the community college there. You want to come? I said, hell yeah. So he flew me from LA to Saipan, Northern Mariana Islands, where I am today, which is right near Guam. It's where the America's Day begins. We are an American Commonwealth, and we do have a community college here for the local people. And we taught filmmaking here to educate the locals because there was a Japanese and Korean and Chinese film industry here. They would come here to do commercials, and game shows and stuff like that. So we built a whole group of students who had skills who could now work in film and television. That's 20 years ago.
Wow.
And I was here, and I did a radio show here. And someone on the radio show said, I'm here with Dan Shota. And I became Shota. And all my friends started to call me Shota. And I was here on Saipan for 4 years and taught college, and then moved and became the video director for the Travelers Channel, the visitors channel of Saipan, Guam, Tinian, and Rota, 4 islands. And I would go between islands and shoot travel videos, which ended up being on the hotels in Saipan and all over Asia.
Wow.
And then when I left that and created my own television series called State of Liberty, which I shot here under Show Division. And we did a television series that I wrote, directed, and acted in. Amateur by American standards. I used my students and I paid for lunch. But it aired on television here. And I stayed on Saipan, met my wife here, and was here for 4 years. Went back to New York City. Instead of LA, I went to New York, where my family lives, and started a theater career over again. So I was doing theater and directing corporate videos under Show Division out of the East Coast, including Maryland. I did Maryland Electric Company. So I did all of their online videos. So I made a living as a video director, a corporate video director, for about 8 years in New York. And then just recently, 1 year ago, saw the opportunity to come back to Saipan. And I am now the anchor of the evening television news. I write it and anchor the news 3 nights a week.
Wow. Oh, fun.
Wow.
It sounds like.
And I shoot everything that I do. I'm not the only anchor. There's another one. And the two of us go. And today I'm going to go to a drug court. and I will film drug court. Drug court is an alternative drug rehabs. Instead of jail, you go to drug court. And I am going to film a graduation of drug court people who are graduating. Then I will interview them. I will then write the story, edit it with an editor. I write the edit. They physically edit it, and then it'll be on TV tomorrow night.
Nice.
Wow.
And it's one of the 6 to 7 stories we do every 2 days. When I was here doing the Visitors Channel 20 years ago, I wrote and directed maybe one video a week, one to 3 minute video per week. Now I do 4 a day.
Wow.
Yes, and I'm filming them.
That's an incredible cadence.
It's incredible. It's unbelievable. And I'm just, for someone who wants to, all artists, I know you've met, anybody you have met wants to be used. They want to use their skills, their art, their craft, their fun. That's all we want to do. Of course, like I said, we would rather do it on a larger stage, but it's the exact same game. Right. You're either painting in oils or you're painting in finger paint. It's the same sport. And I'm madly in love with this sport, and the opportunity to do that on a magically beautiful tropical island is I'm
sounds
blessed.
pretty nice. Yeah.
You have no idea. You have no idea.
This is a really random detail for me to ask, but like now that you said it, it's bothering me. So when you said you were like traveling between the 4 different islands, do you go by boat or plane between those islands?
Oh, it depends on which ones. Guam is an airplane. Tinian is a boat.
Okay.
And Rhoda is a 6-person plane.
Okay.
You know, so
I don't know why I needed to ask that, but I.
Oh yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it makes sense. No, but it's Guam is half an hour away by airplane.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, Saipan and Tinian. Tinian is where the Enola Gay took off from. Saipan was a big battle spot in World War II. Japan owned. They colonized Saipan after the Spanish and the Germans did previously. Then the Japanese had colonized it, and it was a sugar plantation, the entire island. Wow. And then they put a military outpost here, and we won. The Battle of Saipan was when the Americans took World War II, took Saipan from the Japanese, and Saipan and Tinian are literally sisters, like Staten Island. It's that close. And that's where the Enola Gay took off from. And that was the Hiroshima and Nagasaki left from Tinian. So we are still a military outpost here on Saipan.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is very interesting, as a New York hippie who marched against the Vietnam War, I was 16 when I was marching against the Vietnam, just missed the draft, thank God. Marched against war my entire life. I can honestly say that I have never met a soldier that I didn't like. And they're here. I've met generals, I've met colonels, I've met sergeants, I've met privates. I have never met a soldier I didn't like. These are noble, beautiful human beings, and I had no idea.
Yeah.
But I do still say to my young friends here on Saipan, don't join the Merchant Marines. You can get rich. They give you money. They give you lots of money. You do the same service. You're still honorable. You're noble, but you get rich. Because we have Merchant Marines here too, and they tell me how much money they make. I go, you fucks. And I can't do it. You know what I mean? It's a skill. I can't engineer. I can't do math. And my students here, the kids that I know, my editor at work, he's a brilliant kid. He can edit. He can engineer. He can learn. He could be a Merchant Marine. I want to be in the Air Force. I go, you fucking nuts. You want Trump to tell you where to go? Are you insane?
Yes, I work, and a lot of my friends are either active duty or vets. And yes, as people, they're great, but I've no desire to see my kids in.
Not now.
Yeah.
But I'm happy. But I'm very, going to have to be supportive of people who have chosen to give that service. I mean, that is pretty amazing.
And they are keeping their word. 99% are not cowing to this stuff. They're working with it. It's unfortunate they have to work with a moron, but these are not political opinions. These are truths. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, so yeah, we appreciate that actually. We love it when our guests stuff, but just show who they are, like what you talked about doing as an actor, and letting that shine through. As you strike me, Mr. Shore, as someone who's very thoughtful about life and all of that. So let's do a little Bill and Ted style time travel. And if you could go back in time, theoretically, of course, and just give yourself one or two pieces of advice as a younger man, based on what you know now about life, the world, what is there something you would say to a younger you that would just kind of help you have perspective, you know, not necessarily a step up. I don't know. I don't know if that's what I'm asking, but just, wisdom.
The only wisdom that I would have, which I learned in my 40s, and I
Mm,
tell this to students now all the time, but that's it. And I wouldn't go back and change anything. Unfortunately, I have lots of regrets, massive regrets.
mm,
But part of my success was that my ego was so big.
mm,
When you walk into a room with that juice, it's undeniable.
mm,
I walked into rooms with juice, with ego, with belief, and it worked. So I would not redo that. You know what I mean? I
yep.
had drug problems, as did everybody, but
Mhm.
I don't know if I would redo that because the amount of joy that I had. It was not, you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
have people here with drug problems that I'm going to see today. They go to jail.
Yeah.
I don't know if technically I had it, but I had it. But I don't know if it ever affected anything. I don't know. I wouldn't do it again. But what I would do, the lesson that I learned, you can talk about theater and you could even talk about movies. The only happy person in Hollywood or in the theater is the artistic director and the executive producer. They're the only people that control their own lives.
Oh,
And
okay.
I would, every now and then, I'd be young, I'd find a script and I would try to produce it. And when it didn't get produced, I quit doing it and then wait for the next acting job. What I would do is I would train myself in the business of the arts.
Mm,
I would learn how to be the artistic director, not as a director. I can direct anything, but I can't raise money. I don't
mhm,
know how to do accounting. And those are the only people that are happy. I worked at the Old Globe a bunch of times and I loved it there, loved it. And Jack O'Brien was the happiest man on earth. He could direct when he felt like it, because he was the artistic director. He could act in a play if he felt like it, because he's the artistic director. He was the king. And that was because he was willing to learn. He's an artist. He's not an artist. He's an artist
right,
first
right.
and a businessman second. But if I would learn business, I would learn the business of filmmaking, how to raise money, and how to persevere through it.
Hmm.
That's it. I would have 5 projects going instead of waiting for the agent to call. And
Mhm.
I did that after 40 when I became a teacher and a director. I spread myself out more. But I had the opportunities when I was younger to actually, I could have, if I were smart, I would have been, I was on Cagney and Lacey as an actor, a series regular.
Hmm.
If I were smarter, I would have been directing Cagney and Lacey's by the end of the first year.
Mhm.
Mm,
That's what I would have done. I would have
yeah.
sat with the directors and said, I want to be a director. Can I watch you every day? And I'll
But
come in and act when my
yeah.
scene. Instead,
And
I sat in the back with the other actors making jokes all day, having the best time of my life.
Mhm.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That is what I would recommend to anybody who has the brain to do it. Some
Mhm.
actors can just act.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And, I wouldn't say that I'm a great multitasker, but I'm a great student. And I could sit there with that director and show them that I
Mhm.
want to be a director. That's the only thing you can do, is show them that you want to do this.
Yeah.
Mm,
And by the end of that first year, I would have been directing. And I've watched so many other actors who are very good actors
Mhm.
end up directing TV shows, creating television pilots, and working their way within the industry
mm.
because they made that extra choice.
Yeah, and we've definitely talked to and seen, specifically in Star Trek that they had,
Yeah.
Next Generation, they had kind of a path for those who were interested in, Jonathan Frakes, Robbie
Yeah.
Duncan McNeil, Roxanne
Yeah.
Dawson, several people took advantage of that. And I tell you, lately I have been really enjoying Foundation on Apple
Mm.
TV.
That's
Roxanne Dawson has been directing like
true.
most of those episodes, and they're
Wow.
amazing. So
Yeah.
for
And
anyone
to
who
me,
likes science fiction.
on television, the best directors were actors as a
Hmm.
rule.
Yeah.
As a rule on television, because they don't have to invent a visual style. It's invented for them, but they
Mm-hmm.
get the performers. They understand story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Cool. Neat. Well, Dan, this has been real. This has been awesome. I
Mhm.
think it is safe to say that we've confirmed that you are cool as hell.
Oh, yeah, and not boring. It's been
No,
45 minutes. Oh my
it
God.
has. It went by like that, like nothing. So,
Wow.
so everybody, from the digital frontier of Tron to the time-traveling chaos of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure to the profit-seeking mischief of the Ferengi on Star Trek, Dan's career has taken him across more realities than most of us can imagine, and he's made each one unforgettable. If you haven't seen any of these, go back and watch. So Dan, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing these stories and your humor and your heart with us today. We so appreciate it. We really do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. And to our listeners, remember to be excellent to each other. Keep going boldly, and we'll catch you next time on the Big Sci-Fi Podcast.